So once again, they have recast the kid. This time it's this kid. Um, he does fine. They recast the daughters again too, and they gave them a slightly bigger role. His one sister's a lot meaner now and says some pretty vulgar things in this movie. Like she gets mad at him and tells him that she hopes his eyes get pecked out by crows. And she straight up pushes Shiloh for no reason. Um, and calls it stupid. And she's just very mean in this movie. But the movie ends with it being her birthday and she gets a cat, which is really weird. You just saw her have the potential to get angry at animals and hurt them, and you're like, you know what? She needs a baby kitten. Because that's what it was. It was a kitten. It wasn't even a cat. It was a kitten that was recently born. Um, just wow. This movie also recast another character once again, who was only in like one scene in the second movie, Dr. Collins. He was played by a white guy in the second movie, and now he's black in this movie for some reason, which I don't have a problem with, but that's pretty funny that in continuity, this guy was white in one movie and now he's black. Um, it's kind of like how they did that in the X-Men movies, where a black guy played Stryker in X-Men 3, but then later in X-Men Days of Future Past, he was played by a short white guy, Peter Dinklage. Um, this is the same continuity. How does that happen? How does that work? Um, this was not a great movie either. This movie is once again trying to redeem Judd Travers again, which is what the second movie was doing, but they're really doing it here. Which I don't think you should redeem a person that abuses their dogs, has killed a dog, and threatens little kids. I mean, he physically pushes Marty in one of the movies because he gets mad at him. But both the second and third movie and the first movie have all spent their time acting like it's new information that he was abused as a kid, so that's why he's unfriendly. That's why he's rude. And that's just not an excuse. Just because you had a bad life doesn't mean you get to be a bad person. You learn and grow from it, and you kind of have to teach yourself how to be kind. Um, but, I guess this movie has probably the most absurd plot line out of the three. I remember when I first read the description, I was like, how is this even a Shiloh movie? The plot of this movie is that Judd was accused of murder. He got into a bar fight with somebody and that person ended up dying. So people think it was him. Of course, it's not him because they are dead set on redeeming this man for some reason. Um, but I did think it was kind of interesting that in the second movie they had a throwaway line about how Judd got into a bar fight. So at least there's like some continuity here and it's not just completely random, but still a very absurd plot. Of course, it ends up not being him. The person that actually killed the people are two prisoners that escaped from prison recently. And, Shiloh and Marty and David are able to stop the prisoners. David has a much larger role in this movie. Um, Also, the actor that played the doctor in the first and second movie sadly passed away. So he's not in this movie, and they write him out and say that he actually did die. Um, which is kind of sad. The dad, okay, this was the most absurd part. The dad is recast. From what I found online, was that the actor was bored of playing the character for two movies in a row and did not want to return. Now, the actor they get for the dad, though, is extremely old. There's nothing wrong with aging. There is nothing wrong with aging. Everybody's gonna age. Everybody's gonna be old one day. But these movies are supposed to take place in like a year, and suddenly the dad looks like a fucking grandpa. I don't understand why they got an actor that old, or at least that old looking. I don't know if he is the same age as the guy from the first movie. But he looks so old. He looks like he should be Marty's grandpa, not his dad. Um, but yeah, he's his dad in this movie, and it's just so jarring every time you see him. Like, that is not the same character from the first two movies. Like, I can think that, I can understand the kid getting recast. They got to keep the kid young and make it look like it's taking place over here. But the dad is just way too old. I'm sorry. It's just bizarre. It's bizarre. There's no other way to say it. Judd ends up, obviously being found that he's not guilty for the murder, and then the movie ends with him like saving Shiloh, and Shiloh likes him now. That's exactly how the second movie ended. Was that Shiloh likes him now? Um, it's they just like backtracked the second movie, acted like it didn't happen, but at the same time keeping a lot of continuity from it. It's very weird. There's also a fourth one, but it didn't get a movie. Shiloh Christmas came out in 2015, but they never made a movie on that book.